Glenn, I guess with a rejigged team and a few guys resting, it must be nice to win so comprehensively like that.
Yeah, I thought we've played okay cricket for most of the series, but today I felt like it was a really complete performance on a wicket that still nibbled around a bit and offered a bit to the bowlers. So, but our bowling group to hold Sri Lanka to 121, I thought was an outstanding effort, and then the batting group just, I suppose, chipped away and made sure we stayed ahead of the rate and made sure there was no panic for the guys coming in, and that was really key to getting the job done today.
How'd you hit him yourself?
Yeah, well, I probably got a little bit of luck. I think after the last game, a couple of drop catches, contentious caught behind. I was probably due for a little bit of it, but yeah, it's nice to hit a few out of the middle. Felt really good at the crease. Just trying to get that rhythm to sort of carry me on for the rest of the year.
I wasn't going to bring up the drop catches, but since you did, I mean, that was really unusual for you, Maxie. And did you feel like you're not at point to prove, but was there a little bit extra kind of driving you on?
No, not really. I suppose if I didn't work on it as hard as I do, I'd probably feel a little bit guilty. But I practiced for about 25 minutes before every game, and just doing boundary line catches, making sure I know where the rope was, and not making excuses. I got done. My footwork probably wasn't as crisp as it normally is, and sort of got caught in between steps both times. And as soon as you do that, your eyes are moving, and just found like it just hit the wrong part of the hand both times. And we're talking about an inch difference from where the ball comes down. So, but yeah, it's something I work hard on. I made sure I went around the whole ground today to sort of get a better idea of the wind. And but yeah. When you make two mistakes like that, when you work so hard at it, you just make sure you work a little bit harder and make sure it doesn't happen again.
Well, I've seen you warming up in this series especially, and you keep catching them one-handed and you never drop them, so I don't know if that's a...
Yeah, so myself and Marcus Stoner started doing a lot of that during the Stars stuff. Because we do a lot of boundary line work, where you're close to the boundary, you're taking these one-handers to get actually really comfortable with your favoured hand, to feel the ball sort of almost cupping in your hand and be able to relax your fingers at the right time, and just get your grip around the ball is a really key skill. And even when we do it when it's coming straight to us, just have that feeling of the ball just sort of massaging into your hand, I think is a good way to practice hard and hopefully play easy, and we certainly try and do that as much as we can.
What was behind the tactic to open up with Ashanega with the bat today?
I think just a left-hander as well. I think with Marcus Stoyce and Matthew Wade, massaging them into their role, trying to keep them nice and consistent, I suppose, at what are they, 5 and 6 or 6 and 7 around that area. Trying not to move them too much to make them get used to their roles. And with a guy like Ashton, he's been desperate for another opportunity to play international T20 cricket, and he thoroughly deserves it. He was, I think, our T20 Player of the Year last year, and he's been so good for a number of years now. And for him to get his opportunity, bowled beautifully again tonight. We know what he offers in the field, but with the bat, we probably haven't seen the best of him yet in international cricket. And hopefully, with a couple of, I'm not sure if he's opening next game, but for this game, we decided to go with him at the top of the order, and thought he struck the ball really well, got us up with a rate, and put a bit of pressure on their bowlers.
But you did mention how unlucky, I guess, he's been in missing out for this team for the World Cup. Could that almost be the ticket for him to find a place, whether it's opening or somewhere in the top 6? To find a spot to stay in the team long term? Yeah, maybe. I'm not really sure, but yeah, he offers so much in all three parts of his game, and he's such a handy person to have in your team. Like, we were lucky to have him in our squad. We only played the one game, but he did really well against England. He was probably our best performed player that night. But he's just been so consistent in everything he's done over the last few years for Australia, and he was just unlucky, I suppose. The three big quicks come back in. Zampa's there. We've probably been starved of our best bowling lineup in T20 cricket until that World Cup, and unfortunately, just I suppose weight of numbers probably pushed him out of the spot. And with our batting line, we wanted to keep it nice and steady. We had three all-rounders as well through that middle order batting, so he was seriously unlucky. But tonight he just showcased how good he is, and so we're very lucky to have him. And Aaron Finch at 3, I mean, do you know if he kind of volunteered to go down? Like, his record away from opening is actually quite good in T20 cricket, isn't it? Yeah,
I think there was a little bit of discussion around that, but I think with the way Ben McDermott's gone this year in the BBL, player of the tournament, opening the batting, we didn't sort of want to mess around with the young guys too much, and the senior players can, I suppose, move around those guys, and we know Josh Inglis has moved around a little bit for for the Scorchers and being able to have some success. So that was probably the easier move to push him down. And Finchie's batted at 3 and 4 in white ball cricket before as well, and done a good job. And he batted really nicely tonight on a wicket that wasn't easy. He was able to get off strike, hit the odd boundary, and sort of keep the pressure on. Every time Aaron Finch is out in the middle, teams are under pressure.
Mitch Stark, is he working on a new delivery? That one that just bounced in front of Matty Wade there?
It was pretty sweaty out here. Everyone was saying it was a little bit slippery, and the dew started to come in late, so he was a little bit unlucky there. But no, he's not working on that one too much.
And Daniel Sams, that catch on the boundary, just a word on how good that was.
Yeah, it was really funny because as soon as I went up in the air and I saw Sams here, I assumed it was going to be caught because it's Daniel Sams, and the pace that he gets to the ball, he's by far our quickest across the grass in the squad. He's an unbelievable athlete. He's got a great pair of hands. We've seen it in the Big Bash. We've seen it in domestic cricket. He's a super fielder, and that's what these guys are bringing when they come into the squad. They're bringing 3 sides of their game, and it's certainly a hard squad to get into, to have guys like that have been on the bench waiting for an opportunity over the last, I suppose, 6 months. But it's a good sign for Australian cricket at the moment.
Who's been publishing your wedding invitation online, mate?
I don't know. But yeah, it wasn't ideal. Obviously, we've got to get a little bit of extra security for that wedding now. But yeah, it certainly wasn't ideal. It was supposed to be a private event, and yeah, unfortunately, I think the relatives over in India just got a little bit excited, decided to show a few friends, and next minute it's in pretty much every paper over there, and I'm getting tweeted it by pretty much everyone. So that was a shock and a busy couple of days.
How many people are you actually planning to have there before this?
I think there's about 350, I think, coming to that wedding, which is quite a small Hindu wedding. So I've done well to keep it at that, but yeah, it's going to be a great day. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait, and should be awesome.
And you've mentioned that was always something you kind of flagged with that overlap of the test tour. Does it overlap with the limited overs as well? Or?
Well, originally it was a gap in the schedule. So when I organised it and sat down with CA, I think the Pakistan tour was finished by about the 11th or 12th of March. So I was like, perfect, I'll get married in this 2 weeks. And then I think COVID sort of affected a few things. We had to chuck series in at different times. We had the New Zealand series and this series, I think, thrown in before Pakistan now, which sort of pushed that back a couple of weeks. So just unfortunate with timing. I'm not sure about my timing going forward, but hopefully we'll see what happens after that.
Right, and then IPL after that. Is that kind of the big one, I suppose, on the radar post this series?
Yeah, I'll try and get back and try and play a couple of one days for Victoria after this series, and I'm not sure I don't think I'll be available for any of the Shield stuff, which is unfortunate, which is pretty typical of my schedule over the last few years. But yeah, there's hopefully an opportunity to get back and play for the Vics. I haven't played for them for a while, so I'd love to get back out there and put the big V on and hopefully have some success.
Just finally, I mean, I feel like we ask you this every time about red ball cricket, but it is still kind of on your mind if you can ever be available for one.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. Yeah, I'd love to be available for the Sri Lanka test matches. I think this year, I'm sure we've got another test tour somewhere else this year in the subcontinent, but I'm not sure it's been confirmed yet. So, look, there's still other options and other series that I could potentially put my hand up for, and it's just got to be right time, the right place, right time, and hopefully I can sneak my way into the squad and add to a couple of test runs and add to a couple of test caps. So that'll be nice.
And to your test 100 too. Thanks, Maxie.
Thank you.